How goes the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys are continuously having a great and exceptional day. This is an interesting topic today because the fact that, I'm not talking anything bad about the school system. I'm a product of public education. So I'm not going to down the school system in any way because this is not what we're about here. I have a lot of great love and admiration for people who teach in education, especially nowadays with today's conditions. Um, Principals, administrators, people that sit, the Department of Education, whether it's at the federal level, the state level, the local level. Academia is a very strenuous process, and the people who work in those fields, nothing but love for them. My hat goes off for them the whole nine. Take my hat off to them because a lot goes into it. And I've consulted with many people who are educators and former educators, and a lot of reason, and that's another thing that's pretty bad. A lot of teachers don't make enough money um, to even survive or to live. There's been instances in certain school districts where teachers have to pay out of their pocket, and they don't make that much money to begin with, and they have to pay out of pocket just in order for them to be able to have enough supplies for the children and whatnot. And sometimes it's even more poor districts. It could be in a rural area. It could be in a major city. It varies. And I guess one of the upsides, because I've been trying to look at as many upsides as possible. And I was just talking to a friend of mine talking about the kids. They're going to be homeschooled, until January because the kids are high risk and whatnot. And there are, that's what I said. So people who are teaching in this environment, I would imagine there's a lot of other children who are high risk and a lot of teachers who are high risk. So they don't want to take those specific chances and whatnot just so that they can get a decent education. So that's what I said. I'm not downing teachers whatsoever. What I am saying is at the end of the day is that I just think there's a lack in not talking about financial literacy, because I'll talk about myself. What I remember from public education and even from college, they talked about money, talking about the stock market was never on the table, talking about even just from a worker's perspective, talking about how to purchase a home was never on the table. At most was how to interview for a job, and I was lucky to have that because I even hear certain school districts don't have that. What to be expected of to have a job, when you're trying to obtain a job. Never the mindset of an individual retirement account or 401k. I mean, heck, I left high school not even knowing what a 401k is, what it really, what it entails and whatnot. And so, things of that nature, how you could leverage, because there's institutions of higher education where the leverage aspect in the economy in the United States is talked about, like especially your Ivy League schools and things of that nature. Like I said, but one of the biggest problems just so happens to be that those things are not talking about. What is the interest rate? Best time to buy interest rate when you're buying a house. Credit. The how important credit is. I mean, one of the biggest problems, especially a lot of kids who go to college and whatnot, and even in people who join the military. They don't know the importance of what credit is, one, and how one's supposed to utilize it and take it seriously. I mean, heck, even full disclosure, I was scared to get a credit card until I turned about 25 years old because I did not. Back then, I was like, I don't want any debt. I didn't even establish. It was hard for me to get my first house because I had no credit or the lack of credit. That's what it was. Because before I purchased my first house, I only had a credit card for like 3 years and I never had a late payment. And it was like a couple $100 I spent on it every now and then. But because of my lack of knowledge and whatnot, I did not realize the power the thing I'm trying to, talk about now. But yeah, I did not realize how powerful credit is. Why do I have this thing? I did not realize how powerful credit is and how to utilize it and whatnot because I was scared of it for a long time, and it's one of those, it is what it is. But I will say my thing. So my thing is not only that the power of credit. My thing is the power of owning a business. How tax write offs. especially now with my generation, we get a pass, but like now it's like you can go on the IRS's website and see the tax advantages that one can have by owning a business, whether it's a home-based business or a brick and mortar business or anything of that nature. Like this can be taught in specific curriculums. And in my personal opinion, it could actually make hola. It could actually make being in math a lot more interesting for certain people. And I know certain teachers have done this. They haven't gotten any flack and whatnot. So that's what I said. I give a lot of respect and credit to teachers and whatnot, because if you can make certain things fun, and you can add that little financial literacy curriculum in there. So when somebody does leave high school and go to college, or they go to the military to get a certified trade, they understand the power of leverage. Because I always talk about the importance of having this in your family, because that's why I always give respect to immigrants, because this is the power of voting with your dollars with your family. People have their own versions of their own susus, where they put money into a pot, it's accruing interest and things, and it might be even going to other specific investments and whatnot. You have families who have their own lottery system where they put a certain amount of money in every month. They draw a number. Whoever wins the number, they get a couple $100 to $1,000 every month and whatnot. You have a lot of people who utilize things outside of the system, whether it's the system of the banking system, the stock market, et cetera, and so forth. So, and they do it because there's an honor code going on. There's a code of ethics involved with the friends and family. And there's trust. So if you have trust and you have a code of ethics, then I don't see a real big problem or anything of that nature. So I find that to be very interesting. And I wonder why that's not really taught in school curriculums. I mean, me personally, I think at least from a junior to a senior in high school, financial literacy, the power of leverage and things, and not just teaching you how to become a great employee, should be on the table. It's like, yeah, you can be a great employee, but you can be a great investor all at the same time if you're not going to be a business owner. Or if you want to really fight the tax, not fight, but make the best use of the tax code, learn the tax code, you know what I mean? And talk and have a little session within the math class, because you're dealing with numbers and things of that nature. So I just look at it, that is a great way in academia to spark the interest of children, one, but two, spark the interest and educate people so that they don't make so many bad mistakes and have bad credit by the time they're 22 or 25 or 30 years old. Because I've heard people who are big time entrepreneurs and millionaires now, they've told all these stories about how they've blown all this money because of the lack of knowledge. Or even if sometimes people did know, they just don't care. And that much I can respect too. Like, my thing is, if you know and you still don't care, then that's on you. But that's why I said this is a very interesting yet serious conversation, because teachers work very hard. They do a very good job, and we're in new territory now to where financial literacy and owning a business and having significant investments is a must. It's no longer an option. Okay, so that's where we're at in today's society and in tomorrow's society, and et cetera and so forth. So. And the thing is, that's one thing I posted this on social media yesterday, and it's just one of the realest things ever, so that people can get a better understanding. And it stated it's crucial that we have the following: life insurance, real estate, credit score above 700, diverse stock portfolio, cash reserves, because one thing is, it won't buy happiness, but it will buy peace. And I think if we focus on buying peace more than anything else, I think we can get a lot further in this life. You know what I mean? That's just my personal opinion on that one. Right? We can go to other places. It's not about money is a tool, and supposed to put it in places for it to grow. It's like, my brother Chris was talking about yesterday, how Damon Dash, and when he gets money, he doesn't blow it, he invests it. He constantly, because since he used to be a drug dealer, he constantly flips the money. He gets the money, he flips it. He gets the money, he flips it. And he's always put it into so many other different things. On paper, he might look like he's broke because most of his money is tied up into his liquid assets and whatnot, but he's not actually broke because the money still comes. It just comes back. He's planting those seeds into other things that he believes in. You know, I plant my seeds in the Pattersonville property. I plant my seeds in the Larry's Anything Goes. I plant my seeds into my stocks, bonds, gold. You know what I mean? Real estate. So money's constantly coming in and flowing from various different areas. You know, that's diversity. That's multiple streams of income. That just needs to be the new norm. You know, having an insurance policy, life insurance policy, or a term life insurance policy, to where you could cash out within a couple of years, or if you need to have extra access to capital, if you have a whole life insurance plan, which Chris told me about, you have more access to capital. That's the money moves. You know, and we need these kind of things discussed in specific curriculums and whatnot. And the beautiful thing is, it's like, hey, you know, if we had more teachers, that's why, you know, I think adjuncts are just going to be, if you don't know what an adjunct is, it's basically, adjunct is a part-time contractor basically with the school, and they're not a actual employee of the school. And a lot of times they basically just work part-time. I believe they're in the 1099 club, not in the W-2 club, but I could be mistaken, depending on the institution and how they do things. But they work a couple of days a week and whatnot, if that. You know, sometimes it's once a week. You know, they just teach a class on the side. They get paid a specific salary, but they actually work a full-time job, or they might have a business. You know, there's one gentleman I know who owns a business in California. He likes teaching. Teaching is his passion, you know, and he actually teaches business management on, you know, with a university at the University of Riverside, California. Now, the beautiful thing is he actually has business experience. He's been an employee, but he actually has business experience. So given the fact that he has business experience, he's much more successful, in my personal opinion, teaching a business class. Because he's like, yeah, I'm going to teach you guys the management aspect of it. But he always opens his class with, does anybody know how to start a business? Does anybody know, without Googling it, he always says, does anybody know how to start a business? Does anybody know the tax basically benefits that one can get from having a business? Does anybody know what the stresses of running a business? And then he continues with the curriculum, and he'll meet the state guidelines of the curriculum, but he gives examples of not just being a business manager, but being a business owner. So I foresee that, because especially the one thing is, you can't dance around kids. That's one thing. They're going to figure you out, especially in today's society. They're going to figure you out, and they're going to know if you're a fraud or not. They're going to Google you. You know, unless you're just a person that has no social media presence, they're going to Google you, and they're going to try to figure you out. They're going to go from there. Okay, let's just be realistic about it. But you know, that's just how I look at it in a nutshell. It's like, you know, we need more people. If you're watching, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're out there in the chat room. But yeah, it's just like, at the end of the day, it's just a good question. I'd like to know why. I know it's not the teacher's job to make people financially literate individuals. I think that argument would have had more merit 20 years ago, but in 2020 and beyond, that's just null and void, because you have too many people. My whole thing is, a person might start off from zero financially, but a person should not start off at zero when it comes to information and the knowledge and whatnot. And yes, it is a responsibility of everyone to acquire knowledge and things of that nature. But every day we have a chance to learn and grow. A gentleman once told me, if you go through the day without learning anything new, you basically failed for the day. I totally agree with that. And in the age of information, being ignorant is an excuse. You can look up stuff when you want to. I mean, you got people that are becoming back alley mechanics and whatnot just because they Google stuff and look at it on YouTube. You know, hey, and I think that's a beautiful thing. They're able to do some drywall work or replace carpet or things of that nature because they just looked up a video on a how-to video on how to do it on YouTube. So the beautiful thing is, at the end of that, yes, we do have it, but the thing is, you have to it's constantly be around people that you're associating with that knows this information. Because, great example, when I was in high school, guess what I knew very, very well? I knew the background of Bone Thugs and Harmony, Wu-Tang Clan, you know, Snoop Dogg, the West Side Connection, Ice Cube. I could go on and on and on. But at age 16 to 17, if I knew the background information of how to start a business, of tax breaks, you know, before I turned 18 years old, how to start a individual retirement account, how to purchase, the value of owning stocks and bonds, things of that nature, the value of having a term life or whole life insurance policy, you know, it would have been boring to me at that age, absolutely, you know, but maybe not. Maybe we don't make these things boring. I think that's why I loved listening to people like Master P talking about ownership, Damon Dash talking about ownership. These are the people I listen to a lot. A lot of times with Tupac talking about ownership, Snoop Dogg talking about ownership, and all the other artists talking about ownership in specific things. Nas talking about ownership, Jay-Z, the list goes on and on. That's what intrigued me about them more than just their music, because when they were off camera and they were talking about, yeah, I'm a part of this business, or I just opened this business up, or I'm doing this so that I can buy this real estate over here. That's what intrigued me more the older I got, listening to hip hop artists, Tech Nine, listening to him. He went more independent. He became who he is today because of not just because of his talent, but because of the independent mindset. And he got with the right people who saw that vision in him, and he's grown an empire of music that the music industry to this day still wants to buy him out. And he says, no, we're not selling it. We worked too hard to build this thing, and we built it right there in Kansas City in Missouri. So that's what it's all about, But if you have that, if you're taught at an early age, and you have a lot of great school systems that are doing this now online and that are outside of the public school system. So I give a lot of credit to that. You have EYL University, you got the Black Business School, you got Jay Morrison, the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, they're teaching children the principles of wealth and the principles of financial literacy. So I have a lot of respect for these. And there's more institutions that I don't even know about. You got Meet Kevin, you look him up, he's got his online school. Everybody's got an online school for the most part nowadays. And I think that's great because it's contributing to the prosperity of the economic community. And, the thing is, a lot of people end up paying is what Judge Toller from divorce court says, the stupid tax. Basically meaning if you constantly get speeding tickets, you're paying the stupid tax. If you're constantly running up your credit card bill, you're paying your stupid tax because you're paying interest on that money. Even if you're making payments and whatnot. But if it's you running up $5,000 to $10,000 and whatnot, you only make $100 payments, that interest is going to kill you. It adds up at the end of the day. That's the stupid tax. Ensuring that you get a $700 to $600 a month car payment. My personal opinion, that's a stupid tax. But hey, getting the $5,000 mortgage when you don't have to have the $5,000 mortgage, and then be the first one to complain about money all the time. That's it's just like, that's the one thing I respect about the millennial generation. We do more with less, in a sense of we don't have to have. If we have the nice car, we'll definitely have the smaller place. We don't have to go out of our way to have the most lavish, luxurious car or anything of that nature. We'll have something that runs and stops and not worry about what anybody thinks when it comes to clothing. Name brand isn't as big as it used to be. When I was growing up, wearing specific name brands was very big and popular, but it's not as popular as it used to be. You know what I mean? So I leave it at that. And just like I said, those kind of stupid taxes, student loans. It's like, hey, maybe I don't need to get a private loan to go to college. Maybe I should join the military and whatnot, serve my country, get access to the VA loan so I could buy a house, and get access to the free, not free money, but the money for college and whatnot, because you earn it being in the military. Get access to these specific things. And then maybe I could just be a reservist and get the best of both worlds. I can get a skill set and whatnot, and doing something, getting a skilled trade, or maybe just getting a license, like an insurance license or brokerage license, or things of that nature. So it doesn't cost me as much, won't take me as much time. And if I want to go to college, then I can go later on down the road. You know what I mean? Because there used to be the argument of, well, you're going to get the college experience. Well, in 2020, the college experience is online. Okay. So, and it's going, even after COVID-19, it's going to continuously be online because, hey, people can get things done much quicker and be online and not have to go pay to be in a student dorm or anything of that nature, and pay to be across the country or in another state because you're actually paying more money. Hey, take a couple of years, live with your parents, get some game about the world, save up some money, so you don't have to start off at square one and whatnot, because when the rainy days come, because they always do come, you'll be financially well-to-do. You'll be financially decent and whatnot. And then if you have access to some more capital, like a life insurance plan, like a home, like credit cards, it's just like you have all these other things that you can pull money from. You might not want to, but it's better than having to pull money to get a loan and whatnot, that, the interest might be crazy and things of that nature when the bad times come. I got a savings account that's consistently growing. Hey, maybe I pull money from my stocks. I might have to pay a penalty, or heck, maybe I'll pull money from my 401k or IRA, things of that nature. It's just like have and then make, hey, how can I actually roll this money over into another area without having to pay, a penalty, talk to a CPA because I'm not one. So, you know what I mean? It's all these specific things that teachers could be doing if, it's more promoted and whatnot within the school system, because that's why more people are going to these other online institutions because they want access to this information. This is why people are paying for the mentorship nowadays, because they want access to that information. Nobody wants to be basic anymore. Everybody wants to be exceptional nowadays. And I commend everybody with the exceptional mindset, because the basic people are going to go to the wayside and the exceptional people are going to grow, period. That's all I can say on that one. I just keep it real on that one. If anybody else is watching, definitely give me a like and definitely hit the comment section. Let me know that you're here. If not, I will definitely call it a night. I just wanted to talk about this specific situation. I went live last night, and that's just because everybody kept talking about Kamala Harris. So I was just like, I had to get my 2 cents on it. I'm just like, I think we need to get to become a culture of people that don't worry about these things. We just worry about being able to write checks instead of casting votes. Because when you vote with your dollars, and when you vote with your dollars with people, man, your life changes in a big, big, big way. You know what I mean? In a big way. That's all I can say on that one. And you can be very proud of that. And like I said, you're going to vote for who you're going to vote for. At this point, I don't care, because all I care about after the thing is, between the day before election day and after election day, I'm still going to be trying to make my money moves. There's no change in that regards. I'm just still going to be making my money moves and doing what I got to do at the end of the day. So I'll leave it at that. But on that note, family, greatly appreciate it. And like I said, if you have any suggestions I gave my suggestions of what people can do to possibly integrate certain things in certain programs, especially math in particular, because I know math was a subject I was never interested in. But if you would have talked about something like, well, if you add these specific businesses and subtract this specific margin of people or profits and whatnot, then you could do X, Y, Z, and you could grow your business by doing X, Y, Z. Make it fun in that specific way, and a lot of times, a student like me, you'll be able to keep their attention. And it can be literally that simple. But I know that society loves to make simple things complicated for no reason. So, but I will leave it at that. On that note, family, you take care. Have a great night. I will see you guys tomorrow. Like I said, just wanted to go live for a little bit and have a mini discussion. And I will see y'all later. Oh, yeah, don't forget to do the great 3 free things: like, share, and subscribe. Check out the online store. And that phone just went off. Thank you for the PayPal donation. Greatly appreciate that. The donations are always appreciated. Check out the online store. We got some specific products that you might be interested in. But other than that, have a great day, family.